Jim, our next question sent to CornyDriveThru at gmail.com from Jeff in upstate New York. It's a cold Saturday morning here in upstate New York, and I'm seated fireside with a cup of coffee in hand, a plate of French toast a la last, and watching Smoky Mountain Wrestling from March 26, 1994. Mid-sip of coffee, I heard Vince McMahon, in his old-school local promo voice, not only promote the Bluegrass Brawl, but also refer to you as, quote, a combination of Rhett Butler, Ted Turner, Red Barber, and Colonel Sanders all rolled into one. Needless to say, I nearly spewed my coffee all over my breakfast tray. A simply amazing promo by Vince. My question to you, Jim, is, whose idea was that promo, and what did you think of it at the time?
Well, the idea for Vince to do the promo was mine. And after giving him the briefest gist of the subject to talk about, that line that he mentioned and every other part of the promo was Vince's. The context was that we were coming up on the Bluegrass Brawl, the main event of the Bluegrass Brawl in Pikeville, Kentucky, at the College Gym that sold out for the third year in a row. Was the loser? No, that was the second year. So that was the second of 3 sellouts.
Right.
The loser leave town match between the Rock and Roll Express and the Heavenly Bodies. And it was inside a cage, the ultimate blow off, and the losing team would have to leave Smoky Mountain Wrestling. And I wanted to make sure that people knew that somebody was actually going. This was when the Bodies had been contacted and asked to come up, and we'd been making shots for the WWF full time, but they wanted the Bodies to come up or making shots, but they wanted the Bodies to come up full time. So I researched something that had been done in the Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee loser leave town match in 1983. They had other promoters send in video saying, we are anxious to sign the loser of this contest because one guy's going to be available. He's not going to be able to wrestle. In that case, it was Memphis. In this case, Smoky Mountain, wherever. So to make both participants in the match, whether it be the Bodies and Rock and Roll, whether it be Lawler and Dundee, whether it be any loser leave, to make the participants both look more important, you have other promoters saying that, well, hey, if one's going to be available, we'll take either one. And I also had Eddie Marlin on behalf of the USWA in Memphis cut a promo saying that we would love to have either the Rock and Roll Express or the Heavenly Bodies. I'm trying to think who all they had with the Lawler Dundee. I know they had one from, who did it in Georgia? Was it Gordon Soley?
Or Freddie Miller.
Or was it Freddie Miller that did that, who was their TV personalities then? But point being, that's what it was done to make the match more important, to show that the eyes of the world are upon this match and the talent in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. And the biggest thing was when the Bodies lost, that I'd had Vince McMahon on saying that we are anxious to engage in contract talks with whoever loses this match. They show up on WWF television. Son of a bitch, he wasn't lying. But the Rock and Roll Express won. And they didn't have to go to the WWF. They could, I swear to God, the fans in Knoxville, several of them said, we're so glad the Rock and Roll won so they could stay here and they wouldn't have to go to the WWF. But that's what that was. And Vince knew, all I had to say was, hey, we're having a loser leave. You're interested in either one to make the match more important. And then he took it from there. But that was the situation. And it just makes sense. If somebody's going to have to go, where are they going to go? They're going to go home, or does it make your company and your talent look better if all the other promoters in the major companies want either guy, whichever one loses? Now, so we had, at that time, we didn't have a lot of territories that we could, draw from to represent, but we had Vince with the WWF. We had Eddie Marlin with USWA on the other end of the state. The only real promotion we didn't have was WCW because nobody wants to go there.
So Rhett Butler and Colonel Sanders, I guess I can kind of see where Vince would pull that from. Ted Turner and Red Barber are the interesting ones that he compared you to.
Well, and Red Barber, the old sportscaster.
Right.
Because I had the colorful way of speaking, and I think he was trying to knock Ted Turner and say that, I was somewhat of a millionaire playboy like that, but look at Cornette. So if he's compared to Ted Turner, I think it was a sideways slap in Turner's face.